You're sitting there behind your computer screen, watching as your favorite pro players compete against one another for fame and fortune. But who are these players? What makes them tick? Who are really the people playing behind the IDs that you see? Well, join me now as we travel forward, in through the screen, into the pipelines of the data stream, down the proverbial rabbit hole, so to speak. And as we travel forward, faster and faster, coming out upon the other side, we will go behind the screen. Hello, I'm Ken Nursky-Decker, and with me today is going to be Complexity Gaming's coLFireZerg, Sam Prowse.
Hey, what's up, Ken? Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you on the show here today. Going to be doing an interview with him, but before we actually get into the interview part, have to make mention of the fact that it is indeed St. Patrick's Day, so happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody viewing the show or viewing this on the archive if you happen to catch it on St. Patrick's Day. The one day of the year where it is okay in the second picture for water to actually be green. Any other time of the year it would probably be bad. So, jumping straight into the interview here with Sam. That's Sam over in the corner here, a picture of him. I'm actually going to have some games of his with the audio off streaming in the background as we actually conduct the interview here, so I'm going to swap over to that now. Still be able to see me, still be able to see a picture of the handsome Sam. So we're going to go straight into the interview. So let's start with a little bit of your family background here, like where you grew up. So let's just start there.
Oh, well, I grew up in Vancouver, Canada. For those of you who don't know, it's on the West Coast. And I had a wonderful family. Have a wonderful family, I should say. Bit of a sports family, though. You might say, how did they produce such a nerdy kid? Well, I don't know, really, to be honest with you. I had one older sister, so no brothers, really. Not much gaming going on there, not many video games. A lot of sort of like Sims and Roller Coaster Tycoon, that sort of thing. But yeah, we were really sort of a competitive sports family. Sundays would be, I'd have a soccer game. My older sister would have a soccer game, and then at night my parents would have a soccer game. And it's Vancouver, so it rains a bunch, so we'd always get wet while we were playing and cold and freezing. And come home and take a warm bath and have some hot chocolate, sort of thing. So that's a bit of my background.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. So you guys were definitely spending a lot of your Sundays at the soccer fields, then, I would imagine.
Yep.
Nice. So I'm actually going to jump into some of the pictures here a little bit. Let me swap over the screen here and jump over to those. First picture we're actually going to talk about, as I get back to it here. Let me scroll down. Alright, here it is. So this first picture we have is you with some lovely lady. Care to tell us who that is?
Oh, that's Danielle. It's my girlfriend. She's pretty sweet. She thinks colossi are imbalanced.
So why is that? Is she like an avid StarCraft 2 player as well, or?
Oh, no. Every now and then, though, I'll sort of expose her to it. We'll just watch a stream or something like that. Show her some Day 9, that sort of thing. Fairly standard. As far as her playing it, one time I said, hey, let's just load up the game, because, she wanted to play it. And we did that tutorial thing they have for you on Battle.net to introduce the newer players. Right. And that was totally useless. I'm sorry, Blizzard, but oh man, it was pretty dumb. So I was like, okay, well, let's just load up a map, and first thing you gotta know when you're doing the game is you gotta know what all the units do, what all the upgrades do, see all the buildings and things. So I was like, okay, right. just mine stuff and build one of every building and one of every unit in the game, and then we could talk about it or something. Click on the upgrades, see what they do, and that took her 45 minutes. So that was pretty much the end of her StarCraft 2 career.
Is she pretty supportive of you though when you go to tournaments and stuff?
Yeah, actually, she was wanting to go out to a LAN with me, and I didn't really want to bring her because I thought that would be weird. But she did actually make it out to one of the LANs. So yeah, she is very supportive.
That's pretty awesome. So we're going to go on to this next picture here. It appears to be you and a couple of your buddies, and I know when we were doing some of the pre-show stuff, you told me at a beach. Where might this be at, and what were you guys up to?
Well, this is our version of a beach in Vancouver. We have some actual beaches, but I'm pretty sure we like import sand from like I don't know riverbeds or something. This is like a real beach, so it's basically just pebbles. These are some friends from high school. I was in a band. I was a singer.
Oh, nice.
So, I thought it was kind of a nice photo. I just thought I'd throw it in there.
All right, we're gonna go to the next picture here. We have you at I'm gonna guess some kind of a restaurant or something like that. Is this like a place that you tend to visit frequently?
No, not really. There's a White Spot for any of you who are from British Columbia. There's White Spot's a restaurant we have here, and there's one on the UBC campus. So that is where we go, and they don't ID or anything. So it's great.
Nice. Get to drink it regardless of the age, huh?
Well, yeah, I just turned 19. February 28th was my birthday. So
well, congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
All right, going on to the next picture here. This would appear to be the actual room where the business gets done, your computer room. Unless you got a nice little collection in the back there.
Yeah, actually, a funny thing, very relevant since it is St. Patrick's Day.
Right.
I've not drank at all this entire term. All of that was accumulated over the first term. This new year, 2011, I have been devoting all my time to Gosu coaching to try and becoming a better player, not going out whatsoever. So
that's pretty awesome. Definitely takes some really high-level Gosu self-discipline, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I guess.
All right, so we're going to go to the next picture here. It looks like you with some more friends. We got a nice white tie on, a couple ladies, and somebody who looks like... I'm not sure what he's doing, to be totally honest. Looks like he's very happy to be there.
Oh, absolutely. These are some great friends from also high school. I was very, very involved in music, so you might be wondering what's a total nerd like that doing hanging out with some lovely ladies such as those. But yeah, music was a huge thing for me. These guys, all musicians. Same with that first picture. Basically, any friends I had were all about the music.
Nice. Well, hey, there's nothing like music for getting ladies, and for a nerd, you're a good-looking guy, so you got that rocking for you.
Well, I haven't seen any pictures of you, but I would certainly return the compliment.
I guess you'll have to watch the VOD, and you can actually just see me live in all my glory.
I will. Apparently, you sweat profusely.
Just under these lights. These studio lights are brutal. Because they're not like real studio lights. They're more like converted work lights, but they serve the same purpose.
Industrial strength, studio.
Yes, I could get a suntan sitting here. I could probably use one with how cold it is in the Chicago winters. So I've got 2 more pictures left. We got a picture here now of you. You were telling me earlier you were actually at a LAN. I kind of thought the guy in the back kind of looked like a blonde version of Artosis, but you can kind of tell me a little bit about this.
Yeah, I think that might be indicative of some poor eyesight going on there. His name is actually Rectal Tears, which I thought was really
his
funny.
ID?
Yeah, it used to be. Sorry, I just don't think it is anymore, but that cracked me up. This is the first LAN I ever went to. It was at UBC. I now go to UBC, but I was last summer before I went here.
Oh, nice.
And these are the guys or few of the guys from the local community, the local Vancouver StarCraft 2 community, and I love the local community. They're a bunch of awesome guys. I haven't been able to get out to LANs recently because I've been a bit busy, and I got stuck in the bubble here at UBC. But yeah, I thought that was an important picture to include. I don't actually have it here. Let me just. Do you want me to name off the people in it?
You can if you want to.
Okay. Well, that on the left is Viridian, and
I
was sort of you just show up at the LAN and you start talking to some people,
right.
And he's like, "Hey, what's up, man?" And like, "Yeah," and we're just talking, and he's like, "Man, I hope I don't get you in the first round or whatever," because we exchanged ranks and stuff, and I don't even remember what I was back then, but I was quite highly ranked, and then he got me in the first round, and I knocked him out. It felt terrible. And then the guy on the 2 guys around the guy in the center who you think who looks like Artosis but doesn't. Those guys are Nat and Super Justin Man, and they've been organizing tournaments. They organized the first LAN I ever went to in my life, which was a couple summers ago.
Right.
great guys. And then Rectal Tears in the middle. And yeah, I don't know. There's a bunch of people in Vancouver's StarCraft community, StarCraft 2 community, who have a load of really nice people, but also some really good players like Stalife and Ganon and Neens and Druby and coLFireZerg and Optic Zero and all these people.
Nice, nice.
Who beat me when I show up for lands.
So we're going to go to the last picture. This is actually from your more recent StarCraft 2 career. It would appear to be, this was the Sedstick land? Seedstick?
Okay.
I'm probably pronouncing it wrong.
Well, he was taking pictures, and Sedstick is a media guy. He's pretty friggin' awesome. He's also my #1 fan. He made a cheerful for me. I'll tell you the story of this land. I showed up. It was the Canada Cup, and Danielle wanted to come out for this because I've been talking about it for a while. I was like, oh, there's this Canada Cup thing going on. This is organized by two awesome guys, Iced and No Heart, but I don't really know how to pronounce his name. It's NH. RT or something like that. There's no vowels in it, right? Anyways.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, it's No Heart. It's No Heart. I don't know. That's how he says it. Anyways, they've been great. They've been organizing lands since release. Actually, I think since before release, if that even... I don't know if we had lands. But anyways, they organized the thing, the Canada Cup, and they wanted to have all the best players in Vancouver come out and compete for... I think the first place prize was $1,000. So, it's great.
Nice.
And this is just when I started getting into GoSu coaching. I was really, really super keen on that, as I am now, but I was really, really into it. I was put it way higher in priority than any sort of playing or practicing. Also wasn't in complexity at the time, so it wasn't necessarily a sponsored player. Didn't have that contractual obligation to play.
You could actually afford to not practice for that particular one.
Exactly. Though I really did. I really am very motivated to go out there and perform well, especially at these local events, because it's great. If any of you are listening and you decide, nah, I don't really want to go to the local events, please do yourself a favor. Go to those. They're the best. You get to meet the people.
Nice.
But anyways, so yeah, I was really eager to make a good first impression at GoSu Coaching in my first month doing it. And Danielle wanted to go to this LAN, and I was like, Danielle, I haven't practiced for this. I'm probably not going to do very well. And she's like, no, it'll be fun. So we go, we SkyTrain it out to Richmond, which is where this thing was held.
Right.
And everybody's there. It was a qualification tournament, so there was 128 players that then turned into 16, and those 16 showed up. And it was just like me and Blur and Optic Zero and coLFireZerg and Neens and Ganon and Stalife, all those people, and Druby. And it was a gong show. I lost in the first round, 2-0, and it was a single elimination. So that wasn't too good. But yeah, said it wasn't necessarily his tournament, but he's an incredibly important part of our local StarCraft 2 community. He does he makes videos for it. He promotes. He takes the pictures of the events, which you found clearly, I guess, through Google.
Yes. You're more popular than you would know.
I don't actually Google myself. I've never done a vanity Google.
Oh, you should do it. You'd be surprised. You get a lot of stuff.
Oh, nice. I have done a vanity YouTube, but that was only because you asked me for stock footage that you could use. So
yes, this is true. All right, so we're gonna go to our next question here. Besides the pictures, we're actually gonna go into looking at what first got you into gaming? Like, where was the roots of where you started actually doing gaming?
The first video game I ever played was on the Nintendo 64. I got an N64 for like my birthday or Christmas or something. I can't quite remember.
Right.
But I got Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, which, oh my god, that is such a good game. I don't know, I love that game.
Nice.
My first game ever. I really enjoyed it.
It was a good game. I played it quite a bit myself.
Dude, it's such a good game. And then like everyone else, I played Pokemon in elementary school because, you weren't cool if you didn't play Pokemon in elementary school. And but then I didn't really play any other video games at all for a really long time. And went over to a friend's house and they were playing StarCraft or whatever. They're idiots are dicking around with the campaign. The Brood War campaign.
Yes, the old one, old school StarCraft.
Yeah, not StarCraft 2. And this is like in grade 5 or something. And I was like, cool, I'll do that too. And so I bought the game and I just played it and a single player did stupid things. But that's the only video games I really ever played. I owned like a Nintendo 64 and stuff. I was never really considered myself a gamer. And then one day, for whatever reason, I just said, yeah, I'll go on the internet and play this. And that's when I got completely hooked. I think In Control said it best in the recent State of the Game. He said he just got addicted to the game because it's a game that cannot be mastered. You can spend all day, every day playing it, and you could never beat everyone. In fact, you could never beat half of everyone because it's just so fucking hard because you get better and then there's always people better than you. And so I'd say it's been about 3 years I've been playing. I would consider myself a competitive video game player. With Brood War, migrated. I was drawn instantly to the IC Cup ladder, which is the most competitive.
Couldn't be.
Yeah, exactly. And then you were always constantly living under the shadow of these Koreans who were these gods who played the game. And then StarCraft 2 came out, and it was a no-brainer. Play the game.
Nice. So we're actually going to head over. I'm going to drag this onto my screen here. And we're going to move into some more recent stuff for you. So as you've talked about a little bit, you are actually a coach on the Gosu coaching staff. So do you want to talk about your Gosu coaching a little bit?
Yeah.
Besides the fact that makes you lose tournaments?
It doesn't. I don't want to say that. I know I'm using an excuse there, like, I lost, I wasn't practicing, but yeah, it's not a good excuse, especially now that I'm on complexity. It's really, really not something you can do to just say, well, I didn't qualify because I was coaching too much.
Right.
Yeah, it's not really acceptable. So don't say that.
I'll keep it on the down low, I promise.
Yeah, please do. Whatever you do, don't do like a cast and put it all over the internet.
No, I wouldn't do that.
So yeah, Ghosty coaching has been pretty much the best thing that's happened to me that I can remember. It's pretty fucking sweet. I don't know sorry, excuse my French. I started Gosu coaching in the middle of November, and Style Life, everyone knows Style Life, was a Gosu coach, and I guess they were looking for Zergs. So they're like, we have a lot of Zerg leads, and we need Zerg coaches,
right. And
I guess Style Life just sort of put up his hand at one of their, online board meetings. It was like, yeah, I have this teammate, FireZerg, he's a Zerg, and they're like, cool. Interviewed me, Russ, who's the guy who owns Gosu coaching,
right,
contacted me and said, hey, give lessons to some of my friends, some of the people who, and so I did that, and then they gave feedback to Russ, and they said, all right, great, you're good to go. So I had sort of a job interview, and then I just started going and haven't stopped since then. I've, I think, over the course of a few months, 3 or 4 months, I've been in contact with over 67 students.
Nice. That's a good amount.
Yeah, I've coached, I think, something the Gosu Coaching played. Please visit gosucoaching.com. It's a pretty sick website. And even if you're not looking for coaching, they have replay packs and they have bios and all sorts of things on there. So just check it out if you're interested. And yeah, I've coached over 160 hours so far. Keeping me really, really busy. There have been a few weekends where it's like classes are over, 7 hours of coaching Saturday, 7 hours of coaching Sunday, and then another 2 hours Monday. But I love it. I absolutely love it. Can't stress that enough.
And I can attest, I did do a lesson or two with you back in, what was it, like October or November of last year or something like that?
Yeah, November, actually. I have a note. Your last lesson was November 30th.
Yeah. I did a couple lessons with FireZerg, and he is actually a really good coach. He's really good at picking apart, silly little things that you might think you're doing right that you could be completely doing wrong. So, especially with myself transferring over from doing pro gaming in another totally different field than RTS, he's definitely a really good coach and really reasonably priced compared to a lot of people. I mean, instead of paying $150 for a guy like Idra, as great as Idra is, you can, pay a lot less for a guy who, in my opinion, is going to be able to teach most people just as much as they could learn from training with somebody who's going to cost them, 3-4 times as much.
Yeah, and sort of my motto, not that I have one, is that I want people to get the most out of their time. I want to give them things that they can work on their own time, because I think there's way too much emphasis currently, I'm not going to name any names, on, come watch this VOD, listen to me talk, and learn things like how many roaches to make. And, I want to give people the tools to actually make those decisions for themselves and be able to work on their macro, their micro, their multitasking just on their own time, independent of me or any other coach, and hopefully at an affordable price.
Nice. So now we're actually going to go to something else here. We're going to go to your NASL video. I'm actually about to play it right now for everybody to bask in the glory of as I turn the volume on. Far too loud right now, though. There we go. So we're just going to let everybody watch it here for a second, and then I'll let you talk about NASL a little bit.
All right. Fair enough.
Hi, my name's Sam Prowse, also known as coLFireZerg, and this is my application for the 2011 North American Star League. My story as a StarCraft 2 player really begins with my involvement in Brood War. Played on the IC Cup ladder semi-competitively for a number of years. So in 2009, I went to a local LAN, put on by some great guys, and some really awesome players turned out to it. But there's one player in particular, his name was Stalife, I'm sure you've heard of him. He showed up, and he was this person that I had heard of online, who was sort of E-famous to me. Just even having the chance to meet him was just amazing. I actually ended up somehow making it to the finals of that tournament. He beat me, which I've gotten used to now because he does that a lot. His first place I think was a $1,000 processor, and second place was like a CPU cooling fan. That really, I think, started me as a competitive player. The next big event in the Brood War scene was the qualifier for the Team Liquid Star League, the TSL number 2. And this was around the time that StarCraft 2 was being announced. I remember playing nothing but StarCraft for about 3 weekends straight, and just trying my ass off to get into that. You had to be top 48 in the ladder outside of Korea, and I fell just short of that. You bet, if there was some sort of ladder qualification for the NASL, I would be playing my ass off weekends. I mean, gotta go to school. StarCraft 2, though, I've been playing since release. I've been playing competitively on the ladder in online tournaments and at local LANs. Loving every second of it. My biggest rivals include one, Stalife, because he beats me all the time at all the LANs in every single final. I've never actually managed to beat him at a LAN ever. And he goes to the same university that I do, so he's there. He's at all of them. Number 2 would be Darubi, for the same reason. But he lives on Vancouver Island, so at least he has to, at least it's a pain in the ass for him. He has to take a ferry to get over here. Number 3 would be Inca, E.G. Inca. And the funny thing about this is I didn't even know we were rivals. We played a clan war game, and I was like, good luck, have fun, buddy, and he didn't reply. And at the end of the game, he said, GG, faggo, and left, so apparently he doesn't like me. And I think it's because they were doing some sort of EG event in his house. He was streaming it, and he was playing random ladder games, and he played me, and I got him on Lost Temple, and sort of lost the game, but it killed his base, so I hid on the islands for 20 minutes. Eventually he lost that game. I think if I was him, I'd be pretty mad at me, too. I'm just gonna go out and say this. I will, by virtue of being really, really ridiculously good-looking, attract a large female audience to your tournament. I say that with a straight face. One player you'd like to see in the league. I'd like to see all of Complexity in that league. I think Complexity has an amazing roster. Definitely, if you're checking out my application video, please look at Complexity Rise, Complexity RSVP, Complexity Orion, Complexity Cruncher, Complexity Stalife. All of them. Every single one. Don't miss any. Anything else I'd like to add? Not unless there's something you'd like me to add. Nah, I got nothing. Alright, peace.
So, we just got done watching your NASL video application. Which was interesting to say the least, I would say. So, how many times did it actually take you to say that you were a lady killer and do all the winking and stuff with a straight face? Was that like reshot several times, or did you actually do it in one shot?
I spent about an hour and a half trying to get the first thing right, which was, I can't even remember, the bit where I'm like, hey, my name's Sam Prowse, also known as coLFireZerg, and this is my application video for the 2011 North American Star League. And then all the rest of it was one take.
Oh, nice.
And then just edited.
Showing us that you got a little bit of a witty side to you to go along with the lady killer side, apparently.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. I try.
It made for a good video, I'll give it that, you know?
Oh, well, thank you. It's my first ever video thing, so...
let's actually talk about the NASL a little bit here. So, what are your thoughts about it? What are your plans for it and all that good stuff?
I view it much the same way I view MLG. I'm not going to the first MLG this year, for example. Sorry if that was a later question. I sort of sabotaged that one, but
It's all right.
Yeah, I'm not in the shape that I want to be to go to it. If I got in, I'd feel like, holy crap, this is a lot more work for me because I have to live up to the expectation of being in this league. I think that the Koreans right now are the best in the world. They deserve to be in it over a lot of people outside. And I know that's a bit of a controversial statement, but the best players should play in the best league with the most money. Makes sense, right? So I don't personally have any plans for it. I do have a few comments on it. I've been really, really disappointed in the community, and I think skepticism is great, and I think keeping people honest is really, really important. But to try, there's been so many naysayers, so many people looking to shoot this league down,
Right.
Before it's really even had a chance to get off the ground or prove anything to us. Just based on my personal experience with people like, especially Russ, who runs and owns Gosu Coaching.
Right.
These people do not fuck around. This is going to be amazing. I mean, you take the idea of, I bet people would like to have coaching. Let's hook up people with coaches. Very simple. And run a website. That's actually very, very complex. And I'm not explaining this to anyone. I'm not trying to be condescending, but imagine how complex that would be.
Oh.
And they've been extremely successful. I was talking to Russ recently. I was like, dude, your website's too damn successful because I'm getting no time to go to classes and study because I'm just hooked on coaching people. I've always loved coaching, and it's too good at hooking up students with coaches. And the same people working on a league with $400,000 invested over 3 seasons. I don't see that in it being a failure, being anything short of fucking amazing.
Nice. I mean, it definitely. I mean, I personally like anybody who's been naysaying it aside. I mean, I'm personally looking forward to it. I really like the concept to put on a tournament that is going to, really rival that of what Korea's got going on in their scene with the GSL. I mean, in a lot of ways, with the prize pools that they've been announcing, it'll actually even be bigger than some of the single seasons of the GSLs.
Oh, absolutely.
And I know there's been, I was curious, actually, as we're talking on the NASL, I know we didn't actually talk about this as much prior to doing the interview, but I was curious what your thoughts was. There's been a lot of debate, I would say, especially if you look at like TL forums and stuff, about stuff like Korean players, EU players, all that participating in the NASL, and I was curious what the take from like more of a pros point of view was, especially somebody who's from North America looking to compete in it.
Well, I guess you got to
question.
stand by what I said there is that the best players deserve to play in the best tournament around. So, if all the best players are, for whatever reason, from Germany, then I guess, that's just the way it is. It's going to be hosted in California, and there's going to be a lot of Germans flying in. In our case, it just happens to be Korea. But I really do think that Korea has benefited from having a huge friggin' league so close to home, so much longer than we have. And the fact that, if, let's say the GSL, let's say foreigners dominated the Brood War scene, and GSL just got off the ground faster than anything outside of Korea did, yeah, the first few seasons might be dominated by foreigners, but pretty soon you'd see the Koreans dominate, because it's much closer to home. It's in their culture. It's on their TV sets. So, or I guess it's not. I guess you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah. Also, for me, I'm really excited. As a pro player, I look at that and I go, wow, this is... I don't look at it as, oh, I got to get in the first season and play. I look at it as, wow, that's awesome. They've already got 3 seasons going. I'm not necessarily maybe aiming to get in and compete and be a contender for the first season, but absolutely to be the best practice partner I possibly can be for people on my team who I consider have a real good shot at getting in. Right. So, Anti-Mage and Cruncher and Stalife, I'm rooting for them all the way. They're going I really want them to get in, and then once they do get in, I want to make sure that they know exactly how to beat the Zergs, who are going to, Rise and some of the players who take a little bit more of a backseat in our team.
Right.
So, yeah, as a pro player, it's not only exciting from the point of view as I can be a contestant, but also you're rooting for your team, you're practicing with your teammates, and it creates a lot of team practice and all that stuff, which the Koreans have. So you might have one OGS player left in the tournament, and that provides so much commotion and activity in the OGS house.
Right.
Similarly, yeah. And then also, finally, I might be a pro player, but I'm also just a spectator, and I'm just excited to see what the league produces in terms of awesome games between these top level players.
Nice. So now we've kind of gotten all past that. I thought I'd give you a moment before we go to shout outs and stuff like that to tell us if there's anything you can think about yourself that people might not know or find interesting about you. Maybe a dark, dirty secret you've been hiding or something like that.
Oh my goodness.
Before we go to the shout-outs. Yes, I'm springing this one on you.
This wasn't in the prep. Okay,
no, it wasn't.
Dirty secret.
We got a little bit of extra time based on how long I was planning on going with the show, so I thought I'd see if there was anything interesting about you that you thought some people might want to know before we start to wrap it up.
Well, I guess I'm a singer, but I already sort of said that. It's
yeah.
a little bit off. Yeah, it's a little different. I did a podcast, and I'm planning on continuing with it. It's sort of on hiatus right now, but
nice.
So check that out, Esports Canada.
Oh, yeah. By all means, plug stuff. By all means.
Oh, yeah, I should probably start plugging stuff in the shoutouts. Dark, Dirty Secrets. I'm a terrible, terrible rager in this game. Terrible.
Seriously?
Yeah, absolutely horrible. If you've ever, if you go to the Rhett's stream and just goes, you scroll down in the description, it just says, I rage quit a lot. That's exactly, if you ever run into me on ladder, you'll be like, God, what a dick.
So are you the type to GG either way any game, or do you get the end of the game where it's like, you're baloney and you just exit out of the game?
I do. I'm responsible for my fair share of rage quitting. I was a very, very good manner player in Brood War, I like to think. I think the mindset of players has changed. I don't really want to go on a big thing about how the Brood War versus StarCraft 2 top level player mentality has changed, but I certainly think I need to get that back down, especially for my teammates. They have to put up with all my shit because I'll be like, oh god, this Voidbear is so imbalanced, and and that's not the right attitude to have in practice. So it's been a little stressful for me. First year in university, a little bit stressful. A lot of classes, getting used to living in residence, these sort of things. On top of that, GoSu coaching, under a little bit of mental stress. So, Dark Dirty Secret. I'm responsible for my fair share of the vitriol and rage in the StarCraft 2 community. But I'm aware of it. I'm Sam Prowse, and I am a rageaholic. So,
hey, you know what? I can join you on that. I mean, to be totally honest. I've done, especially lately, my fair share of laddering to try and get myself more towards the higher end of things. And there's definitely games where you just lose to something, and you're just you just get so mad because either you got ahead in the game and then you just lost to something weird, or you just didn't scout something coming, and then it's like, oh my god, what the heck? And then it's you just want to take it on the guy who did it because it's you feel like it's his fault.
Yeah, and you just want to flip a desk. My desk is cemented into my wall, but I pull on it a lot.
I can attest that I have broken at least 2 keyboards, personally.
Man, that's hardcore.
Where it's just you just smash the darn desk, and it's oops, okay, it's time for a new one of those.
I don't think I'm strong enough to break a keyboard, but if I was, I certainly would have gone through a few. A few other dark, dirty secrets, I guess. One is that I don't practice what I preach a lot of the times. In coaching, I'll lesson and go, man, if only I could do those things that I just told that person to do twice a week, I'd be so much better. So that's to my students, who are like, how come you're not actually really good at this game if you know this stuff? Well, I don't actually do it, so I need to get on that. Another thing, I love my job. You're supposed to hate your job, but I absolutely love it. Oftentimes, it's the high point of my day. So I don't know. That's not dark or dirty.
No, that's perfectly fine. We're actually gonna move on now. We'll let you do some shout outs and stuff before we actually wrap stuff up here. I know I got one thing prepared for you, since you have one rather large shout out as part of this. So go ahead and do some shout outs. If you have anything to plug right now, that would be a great time to plug it as we wrap things up here.
All right, perfect. Big shout out to obviously Complexity Gaming, and our wonderful sponsors: Creative, QPad, XFX, GH, Gamer House, G8, and Sound Blaster headsets.
And now I'm actually going to switch screens here because we have the last shout-out for you if you want to just say something in general about the last shout-out. I have your student list up on the screen that you said you want to do a shout-out to.
Yep, big shout-out to all my students. You guys are awesome, wonderful, extremely supportive, interesting people. So thank you very much for being my students. I can't, don't know what else to say. I've heard, I think on a State of the Game, they were talking about how Machine, or, they were just telling these horror stories about students that they've had, like 1 in 100, will just, do something ridiculous. Like Machine had a guy who really floated his buildings into the corner of a map and just yelled at him and was like, you don't know how to play, and stuff. And Machine's just the nicest guy in the world, so he just was like, all right, dude, and just gave him his money back, and whatever. But I've not once have I had an experience like that. Every single person I've dealt with has been really, really nice, and, so thank you so much.
All right, well, that's going to pretty much wrap things up. I'd like to especially thank FireZerg for coming. I'd like to thank anybody who was either watching live or ends up checking out the interview on the video on demand. There was some people asking about doing some MP3 versions audio only of this, so I'll probably set that up as well. I don't know where they'll be at yet. I'll have to figure that part out. But I'll definitely make sure I do both and accommodate the community as much as possible. So once again, thank you, Sam, for coming out, and that's going to wrap things up.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
All right, you have a great day. And
you too. Take care.
Goodbye to everybody else.